Hi, I'm Bud Suter from San Diego, California, and I've come to Mojácar, Spain, on the Mediterranean, to interview British author Kevill Davies to my right. Kevill has written many books. The one I want to talk about with Kevill today is Spiritual Man, an introduction to negative
from scientists has been built up. We've had great scientists, but we still seem to lack some basic understanding. So many questions remain unanswered. In fact, it seems quite often that the more questions we ask, the more we don't know. And I think by having this revelation, if I can use that almost religious term.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, I think I can come to some understanding of how this beautiful universe we live in actually works.
And how did you come upon the theory?
Well, it was my eureka moment. I've always been interested in cosmology and the sciences. And I suppose I was doodling one day and I was thinking about what if we talk about what we really experience in the world in terms of other dimensions. Now, when we start off in the world, we were told, or when we read the earliest writings, that God created heaven and earth. That's the first thing we learn of. And so I'm thinking, right, there's a duality for a start, isn't there? This is it. But the religious people say heaven is one thing, the scientists have no real idea about what a heaven is. So we start off with that and thinking, how does this duality work? And then I'm thinking it's a plus and a minus, because this seems to me to make perfect common sense, and that maybe we are like the Maccabees said way back 500 years before Jesus' time. God created out of nothing. Previously they thought it was chaos. And now I'm thinking, well, hang on, nothing sounds like a good idea, because if you have nothing, created from nothing, you don't need a creator. So this is how the first things started coming out. And I'm doodling around and I'm thinking about a positive value for a dimension, and then I'm thinking, well, what if there's a negative dimension? The balancing. And what if further we have a complex value? And I just did my doodles, and then I seemed to remember, I thought, wow, there's something interesting here. I was so excited I ran over to see you, Bud.
It must have been a miraculous moment.
Well, it was just sensational, because not only did I discover that there was a mathematical basis to the duality, I could actually show by using negative dimensions that there was a rationale behind the dual things. It gave me an additional bonus, a miraculous insight, the fact that in the normal life we live in, the negative and complex dimensions cancel each other out. So we don't see them, we don't actually recognize them, but they're there all the time.
And you say that you want to challenge the scientific and religious orthodoxy.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because I think really that we need to move on in the world. We need to understand a little bit. We get a lot of problems from both of them. Scientists have been afraid to talk about things they don't understand, like the paranormal. They don't want to talk about
Now we've had the twin
ghosts.
pillars of understanding, the science and the religious side.
Now the scientific side has given us a lot of knowledge, but their questions remain unanswered. In fact, it seems to me that the more questions we ask, the more answers are needed, because scientists do not want to address some of the problems of the world.
We only know this much,
Yeah.
and we're headed for this much.
Absolutely. And on the other hand, the other pillar of understanding that I'm challenging is the religious one, because religious people feel threatened by advances in science. They think it compromises their faith. And for this reason, I think what I discovered, or the revelations that I had, somehow can pull everything together, make it clear, hopefully, with my language, to satisfy both camps. Because at the end of the day, what I have come across, what I've discovered, has got unique qualities of simplicity and elegance. And I think both of the pillars of understanding, the religious side and the scientific side, might actually embrace both those qualities. The scientists always look for elegance in their equations, and the religious people look for the ultimate truth in beauty. I believe what I got here is
Satisfying
the
to
Big
both.
Bang, because that's the first big challenge. I don't believe it. And in fact, a lot of scientists don't, because of this fact that it sort of what's the word I'm looking for? It goes against the first law of thermodynamics, contravenes the first law of thermodynamics.
Which is conservation.
Yeah. Where does all this energy come from?
Yeah.
And the current scientific view is, it's potential. This is what they say. There is a build-up of
Potential
energy that is balanced by all that is created. Well, where the hell is this pent-up energy? All this potential. And is it negative? Because it ought to be if it's thing. And this is what we're talking about: negativity in the world. That's absolutely.
And this is how your idea about the
This is how it comes
religious
along.
and scientific joining of ideas came about.
That's right. And this is encapsulated in the Taikitu, the Taoist symbol, the yin-yang symbol. Absolutely perfectly symbolises what I have to say.
Well, folks, I can't wait to read this one.